Hey guys, this is Shay Jose. Coming back at you with episode 3 of our Anjuna Melodic Break style track remake. I've done a little bit of work on this track once again. I actually did this last night. Unfortunately, I couldn't record as everyone was asleep. So it probably would have been too loud talking on the mic. But in saying that, what you can do is go back a couple of episodes. I'll link them up here where you can actually see the beginning, how I actually put the initial idea, and kind of where we're sitting. So where we stand at the moment, the track, I would say the arrangement is now done. I need to move on to doing a little bit of mixing on the track, balancing, etc. And then really need to work on the vocals. But what I might do is I might take the vocals out onto a separate session that I can then use in order to process them independently and then bring them back into this particular session. So, what we'll do, so I'll just cover what we have right now. I'll give you a listen, a little bit of a listen to the track, maybe from where it kicks in to maybe around I don't know, just before the first drop. We'll go through some of the elements that I've added, some of the decisions that I've made around this, and then we might get into a little bit of mixing on here, and then like I said, I'll probably do like a separate session once I've got the bones of the track pretty much done. I'll just bounce the instrumental and then do a separate session to actually process the vocals, because I've only got a single vocal stem at the moment, so I need to make some harmonies out of it, some doubles, some triples, etc., etc. So without further ado, let's play the track from the beginning until about, I don't know, say, no, halfway through the break. Let's have a listen. we'll just play it till there. My computer's having a really hard time recording and also playing this project because it's actually become quite big. Anyway, so let's get into it. So I went through the low end in the last couple of videos, so I won't go too much into it. The only differences that I've done here, I have actually just made some changes on the bass line where I've monoed anything, the sides at about 135. We probably can bring this up a little bit more, about 200. Add some saturation, some kickstart. I'm clipping this signal as well to make sure that bass is quite stable. I'm running a limiter on it, and I'm auto filtering in different components of it. So nothing too crazy on that one. We added this particular fill, or I should say fill, actually pattern at the start. I was finding it was kind of sounding a little bit empty, so I added this particular PML sample, and I've done some processing with some beat repeat and side chaining this with an LFO. So the LFO is actually controlling the pitch, the decay on the actual signal of the dry signal, and so and on the repeat, I should say, sorry, which gives it a little bit more texture, and then just side chaining that to the dry signal. So I'll let you hear it with and without. So let's hear it all together first. So there's quite a lot of movement in that sound, and without it, you can really tell that there's it's a lot drier. It just adds a little subtle, a little more subtlety in the sound. Makes it a little bit more vibrant. So I added that particular sound because I found that it's basically this intro part was sounding a little bit plain because I moved the vocals around. So. I think it really helps in that section. So so I did that. What else have we done? I'm not sure if I covered this in the last video, but we've got these syncopated vocals in here. That's not them. Hold on, where are they? Down here. So I created these ones offline, and then I bounced them to audio, which is they're really cool. They actually follow the notes of the project, so they play throughout the whole track. Kind of gives that whole theme of the song, echo, I guess, like she sings in the verse. What else? So what other stuff have we done in this track? Let's see. We have added. If we go into the arpeggiators, we've just bust the arpeggiators out all together. We've done a little bit of mixing on them. Probably can clean them up a little bit more. Nothing too crazy there, just a bit of saturation. I could probably look at EQing this one a little bit better. Same with this one. And we're just running this into a glue compressor, some saturation, clipper. We're side chaining this a little bit to the kick as well. So anything below 756 would actually get side chained, because I was finding that in breakbeat, at least, the kicks, at least this one doesn't sound too huge, which is what I was going after. But at the same time, you still want to feel that kind of thump push through the entire mix. And we're just doing some EQing, just rolling off some of these, some of these frequencies around here, which are competing against the pad. If we go to the, where are we? The pads, where are the pads? Okay. So I've actually, I bust all the pads together at this stage. I covered the bicep pad before in the previous video as well. There's quite a rich sound in there. There's quite a little bit of resonance as well. So I'm just looking at this slightly. I've boosted a little bit on the top around the 2 kilohertz range, and rolling off some of the bottom because I was finding it was getting really muddy in there as well. Besides that, we've actually added some other components around the effects. So there's quite a few effects that we've added in here, including this riser, which I've done before. So I tend to recycle a lot of my sounds from my old projects. It just makes life a hell of a lot easier. Okay, so the other thing I did was in this break, where are we? During the break, I wanted to bring in the drums again, but without bringing in the entire drum section. So what I ended up doing was I brought in the breakbeat pattern in here, and actually just rolled off some of the highs and some of the lows. So you kind of only get into the mid range, and I found that this actually works really nicely during this break just before the build up. So I'll let you hear it from here, and you'll see what I mean. Let's see, not muted. So as you can see there, by turning the EQ on and off, it was sounding too bright. I really wanted this part to be kind of dull to basically give a juxtaposition across to when the second verse hits. Now, what I did is I worked on the build-up on the verse with some sweeps, which I bounced to audio. Some of them were part of samples. And I've added this little, another fill in here. So I'll let you hear what the second verse sounds like. And then I've done a break in the track because I was just finding that it was just sounding too repetitive. So every couple of bars, at least every 8 bars in here, what I did is I did a little bit of a break between the drums, just to kind of break it up a bit, really, and just before the outro. So I'll let you hear the second verse from the build up of that bridge. So. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool just to add that little break in here. It's a nice little feel. The only thing I will probably say is that it feels like it just comes in really quickly. So what I might do is I might just, let's see what I can do. We can add a couple of effects here, kind of like to bring it up. And then repeat this along. Because otherwise it just sounds like it's it just hits you really quickly. Let's have a look. Oh my god, there you go. Let's have a listen. Put this here. Fade this in here like that. Oops. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on there, so what we might do is maybe we'll remove those. We might try oh goodness. Yeah, let's try this riser that I created. We're working in F. So what I've done here, if you don't know, it's just one single note, but I've pitch bend it, which it hasn't done it here. So let me fix this up. Hold on. Oh goodness. Oops. There. And put this down to about 55. See how it sounds. Sounds a bit better. So we might just control the volume of that a little bit. It comes in too low. Let's have a listen again. If it sounds like it's off, it's only because I've got an arps playing a single note in here with an arpeggiator, so this is why it kind of gets a bit out of whack if you kind of don't start it on the right bar. So yeah, anyway. I think that sounds a lot better. Might just save that. Okay. So one thing I would like to show you is I worked a lot in the ambience of the break. So if we go back to the break just here, kind of in this 8 bars, you'll see what I mean. There's actually a lot of texture, a lot of soundscapes that are running, which is giving just like a really nice vibe to the entire track without actually doing too much. So I'll let you have a listen, and then we can break up those components, have a look. So all that is really done. I've got a couple of soundscapes here. I think I grabbed some of them I created in Serum. Some of them are bounced from some splice samples. And this one was a sample that I had. So if you listen to them individually or just these together, you'll see what I mean. And as you can see, they all work really nicely together. So this comes back to the point that I said before in an earlier video, that it's all about the sound selection. Just making sure that the sounds that you choose actually work together well. And we're really just running this across. So we've got those soundscapes going. We've got a drone here, which I've actually now removed from the verses. Because first of all, we couldn't hear them, so they're just taking up space in the frequency range. So a little tip that you can always do is... when I mix, I tend to mix quite low in the volume. And if I can't hear something popping out, I just remove it. Because all it's doing is just taking space in the mix. So this is the drone here. And with the soundscapes, like that's just so much atmosphere right there. And we're not really doing a lot. We've also got this little flourish sort of sound that I created in Serum, and then it bounced out to audio. And that thing that you can hear there, that's on purpose. That's basically the crystallizer which is running, because I did want that to kind of bleed through into this section to kind of make it a little bit dirtier, make that sound a little bit dirtier. A lot of the tracks that I've been hearing from people like Braxton and Anisaya from Anjunadeep is the sounds tend to be quite dirty, you know, in certain parts. So I kind of wanted to recreate that. So look, this is pretty much it. We might just have one more listen through to see how the track is sounding, and then what I'll do is I'll do a separate video where we actually just look at the processing of the vocals, and then I think it's just a case of actually mixing it. I might leave it for a couple of days, not listen to it, come back, see what kind of sticks out, what doesn't stick out, do the good old, you know, car system test to see how it stacks up. And then we're probably ready to bounce this off and at least do a mastering session on it. If you want me to cover anything in particular, or you know you got any questions, just link me below, and we can discuss this, or I can maybe make a separate video if there's any concepts that you want me to cover on this. So let's have one more listen. We'll just do it from the first drop here. And we won't include the outro, but let's see how it sounds. Oops. Alright, let's start that again. That was a bit of a fail.